Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing out there today? This is your Uncle Steve. And today is Monday. So that's the Monday Minutia. We are here to talk to you about the Atlanta Falcons schedule release coming up a little later this week. Talking about the games you want to attend. A lot of times these schedules come out and, they kind of sprinkle the games in here, there, everywhere. And you start thinking about travel plans if you're one of those kind of folks that like to go to the game, which is exactly what I am. What games would you want to attend? We'll look a little bit at the opponents. Obviously, with the schedule coming up later on this week, we'll talk about that later this week. But for now, let's talk about where we're going. We'll figure out when in a couple of days. Come on back. We'll talk about it here in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time.
What is going on? How y'all doing out there today? This is the Monday Minutia. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I am Uncle Steve. I appreciate everyone joining us today. Before you even get started to sit down and relax, go ahead and help your uncle out by hitting that like button, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, or if you're watching us on the X machine, formerly known as Twitter. We appreciate you coming in here today. We are going to talk, as we usually do, we just talk about a potpourri of different things. But of course, we'll center it around the Atlanta Falcons, talking about the 2026 schedule, which will be released in a couple of days. They're already leaking out some of the games nationally. A couple of, I think, Dallas and Philly are going to be playing on Thanksgiving. Not a huge shock with something like that. But it will be interesting to see what the NFL thinks about the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I'm here to tell you, even before the schedule comes out, I think we're going to get at least 3 or maybe 4 primetime games this year just because of number 7 in the backfield. He is one of the most popular players right now in the league, and some would argue the top running back in the league, which is one of the glory positions. So I think that alone will get us some national recognition. Now, I'm sure they're hoping that Atlanta shows up this year, which would be great once we figure out what's going on behind center. We got plenty of time for that. But it will be interesting to see how many primetime games we get. Really, more importantly, like how many Sunday games we get, and maybe a possible Monday night. Where did we go last year? 4-1 in primetime. I think the Frisco game was the only primetime game we lost last year. So I think with a record like that, and then especially at home, where we were successful against Buffalo and the Rams, I'm pretty sure that folks will be looking forward to possibly putting us on the schedule. Not sure if we're in that Thanksgiving conversation or anything like that, but it will be interesting to see what the NFL thinks of us going forward. So I do want to talk a little bit about what's going to happen as far as this schedule is concerned. But to the Falcons fans themselves, my personal question is, what away games do you want to attend? And I usually take time to try to go to at least one or two. Last year, it was Minnesota, Carolina last year. Minnesota was a great atmosphere, especially if you're a Minnesota fan. We won that game. But just to be able to go to different places and see different venues, it's not really a bucket list to go to all 32, 31 teams. That's not really one of the things, but there are areas that I would like to go to. So with that in mind, I was looking at the not the schedule itself, but the teams we play this year. And of course, you have the division games, which is always fun to go down to the Bayou and beat up on the Saints. Tampa, I haven't had the pleasure to go to Tampa yet, but it's so funny to me because I'm still not that big of a Tampa Bay is our rival type thing. I don't know. Maybe you just have to talk me into that one. And then Carolina, who I think is closer than a rival. I think in proximity, they are the closest. I have had a chance to go to Carolina. Actually, we were there for that embarrassing loss last year, the 30-0 shellacking we received at the hands of Bryce Young and company. But there are some intriguing games this year. We do play the NFC West, so we have Seattle. I'm sorry, we have no. You know what? I'm looking at the wrong schedule. Let's pull that off. I just did all of that, and I pulled up the wrong schedule. I mean, the wrong opponents. I apologize. So I just finished do that. So that's one of those. Yeah, I I just looked up at that and I just said, "What am I doing?" That shows you how long of a day it's been, folks. I hope your day went well. Shout out to all the mothers yesterday for Mother's Day. Hope you all enjoyed your time. My lovely wife, Ira, was able to hopefully enjoy hers. We had a nice little brunch here, and I think she enjoyed it. Hopefully she did. So we'll see how that works out. We hopefully it worked out for everybody else as far as celebrating your moms on yesterday for Mother's Day. Now let me take this stuff off. I just, whew, I'm on different lists. How about this? How about we put this one up? There we go. All right. 2026 opponents for the Atlanta Falcons coming this year. And I'm going to go into the away side of things. As I said before at the beginning of the broadcast, I went to the Minnesota game. That was a beautiful atmosphere, wonderful atmosphere. So ironic that we would go back to back there. We are playing the NFC North this year as far as our schedule is concerned. So Minnesota will be one of the away games. Also Green Bay. So the Green Bay game, it's really going to be kind of a toss for me to see because that's one of the games that I might have a little check mark by. Cleveland, I've been to Cleveland, haven't had a chance to go to a game in Cleveland. That would be interesting if Stefanski returning home to see how big of a deal that would be and see if Shador can kind of do his thing without coach, but he's up there battling Deshaun Watson. We got the Washington game this year against Jaden Daniels and company. down there. And then the last, and I must admit, probably the most intriguing to me is to go to Pittsburgh to go against the Steelers. That's one of the places that I would just say, man, that would be a really great football atmosphere to go just for the history. The fans, I had a chance to go to New England last year and got a chance to see how really in check those fans are. And trust me, they were something else for many different reasons. But just to go to Pittsburgh, I think that's something that I look forward to and hopefully get a chance to check that out. But what about you all? What games intrigue you on this schedule this year as far as the away games go? So if you come on in the chat, we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Again, as y'all come in, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Appreciate y'all. Uncle Steve's Lounge. We are moving, grooving, going towards 2001 day. We'll get there. But just appreciate the conversation and appreciate talking about the Atlanta Falcons here. Of course, when you're on Uncle Steve's platform, we talk about everything. You want to talk a little bit about the passing of Bobby Cox, which from Atlanta City standpoint, the Braves were the first consistent winning team franchise. And as I say, not to say Falcons didn't make the playoffs in the late 70s and Braves didn't make it that 1 or 2 years in 81. And it's not saying that, but it is saying that from a consistency standpoint, Bobby Cox was at the helm when we were just running things in the National League for quite a long time. So just, rest in peace, Bobby. And thanks for the memories of those consistency. Not that the Braves don't have their consistency. Last year was obviously a down year with the injuries and things of that nature, but he brought it to a level where the expectation for the Braves was different for the rest of the sports teams here in Atlanta. When you're talking about the Hawks and you're talking about the Falcons, the consistency has to start. If you want to talk about historically here in the city, it's the Braves, and in no small part to the managerial exploits of Mr. Bobby Cox. So shout out to him. Ted Turner passed away this week. Know how instrumental he was in the city. Hawks owner, Braves owner, wrestling for you wrestling fans. He put wrestling on the Superstation and World Championship Wrestling and kind of took it to another level. So you got to give him a lot of credit for what he did with that. And y'all, for those of you who don't remember too, he was a yachtsman too. He had a little the America's Cup where he had the folks out there on the seas. We were a lot of people were talking about things, but a lot of people didn't remember he was he had the little ship out there for a good little while. So yeah, man, lost a couple of good ones. So let's go here in the chat and talk about again your favorite. Oh, and I know before I go into the chat, one last thing we'll talk about. So this Friday, we are supposed to have the release of Iceman from Mr. Drake. Drake, who has been bludgeoned over the last couple of years by just about everybody, probably starting with Mr. Lamar. But he has a new album coming out. Album for the old people, CDs or download for the kids. Iceman, what do you think? Y'all think big debut, big numbers for Drake, or do y'all think his time has passed by? I'm kind of in the middle, but I want to see what you all think about the release of Iceman this week. I'm a Drake fan. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I'm I know every song off every album, but the singles are 100%, you know, big hits. Hotline Bling, hold on, I'm coming. Started from the bottom, now we're here. God's plan. And the guy has hits among hits among hits. And for the longest was really the king on top of the mountain for the last 10, 15 years. But then, of course, when you're at the top, you're an easy target. And trust me, he was targeted in 24 and 25. So took his little time. Let's see what he does. I'm not even talking about necessarily whether he's coming back to, I'm going to get my revenge against Kendrick and all that. I hope he kind of passes that. But just to see, is the hip hop community even embracing him as they once were? I am interested to see how that. So if you want to talk about Drake, if you want to talk about fallen legends this week, or more importantly, if you want to talk about the schedule for the Atlanta Falcons and what away games you want to go to, I will be more than happy to talk about that. So let's go right in here. Dexter Owens is in the house. What's going on, Dex? How you doing? Say, what's up, Unc? I read some say we get the 5th easiest schedule. Please tell me where and how. We got a kind of road ahead with the teams we play. They got to be delusional. Here's the thing, Dexter. I'm at a point now, and we all play the game, and I'll probably play it with somebody once the schedule comes out, when you go down the schedule and you say, what's a win, what's a loss, stuff like that. I really am at a point where my expectation level is always for them to win. But I'm so even keel right now about what you expect. Like, in other words, are they going to be 10 and 5, or 10 and 6, or not 10 and 6, 17 teams, 10 and 7, or 7 and 10, and all of that stuff. I'm going to try my best not to play the game. I probably will. But I'm going to try my best not to play the game because I really don't know. With an unsettling thing going on at quarterback right now, it's going to be really hard for me to give a clear opinion about how this is going to go. It's going to be tough. So, yeah, I hear you. I mean, I think you're just talking about people who are just happy that it's a new year and new expectations and stuff. But yeah, I can't play the game this year, man. I'm just gonna root for my Falcons every game and see how it turns out. That's what I'm. Dre Woods in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Thank you for joining us here at Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you, sir. Just finished watching my brother T Wheel on with his brother Eric doing their things. Y'all make sure y'all check them out on For My Atlanta Sports, doing his thing. Also, 1/3 of One Time for the Fan, doing this thing over there on that podcast as well. Always good to have my brother out there in the atmosphere. David Starks is in the house. What's going on, David? Good to see you in here. Alan Mike is in the house. What's going on, Alan Mike? Alan Mike, you be checking your mail soon. You should be having something there. I tried to get you something for your birthday. Check your packages if you get a chance to. He said, I would love to attend any game. I've never been to a game. Wow. Well, brother, like I said, next time you come, if you ever come during the season, brother, please hit me up and we'll see what's going on with you. Because, yeah, we can't have a real Atlanta fan out there not experiencing at least the home game. So, yeah, definitely. 82 Monte Carlo is in the house, man. What's going on, brother? He says definitely New Orleans. New Orleans is always pretty much a staple for everyone to go to the game. Those are games where you get a deep amount of Falcon fans come in there, and especially the last few years where the New Orleans and the Falcons have kind of fallen on hard times recently. It's almost, the game, they aren't up to the Matt Ryan, Drew Brees battles as far as the significance, but still the rivalry is there. So yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Kelvin, what's going on? How you doing, sir? He said, what's up, Unc? Besides Thursday night, I think we get one Sunday night game and 2 Monday night games. Shador Sanders is going to get one of our primetime slots. That's interesting that you say that. That is one game that I probably do have penciled in. When you start looking at Cleveland, the return of Stefanski to Cleveland, that's either going to be, it's probably meant more for Monday night because neither of the teams did too well last year. Neither one of the teams made the playoffs. So that's almost a tailor-made game for Monday night, if you ask me. David says Green Bay if it's early in the season. Hello. That's what I'm talking about. Later in the seasons, I wouldn't be able to sit in that cold. I've told you all a couple of times about 3 years ago, I foolishly flew up to MetLife Stadium in December to look at that sloppy Jets game back when we had different folks at a quarterback in our midst.
I love that.
And not only we won the game, so bragging rights to the fans that were there, but man, that was it was the rain. It was raining, but it wasn't cold enough to freeze, but it was like right at 30, 35, 36 degrees. And the rain never stopped. I'm not talking pretend stop for 5 minutes, whatever. From the time we got into that stadium, which was about, for me, I think me and my buddy Joe got there probably around 11:30 or 12 o'clock. It never stopped raining. Not a break, nothing. So, yeah, being on any cold weather place in December is a no-go for me. Mrs. Pam is in the house. How you doing, Pamela Johnson? Good to see you in here. Said hello, Uncle Steve, and everyone in the chat. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you, ma'am. She says Green Bay and Steelers, depending on the weather. I love to go back to Minnesota indoors. I'm going to tell you, Pam, I went to that Minnesota game last year, and I'm telling you, those folks know how to start a season. That was their season opening game. We had lost the game against Tampa, so I said I got to get a feeling of winning somewhere. So went up to the Minnesota game, and the fans were great. The fans were great. They couldn't get the win, but great atmosphere, and it was really good. Really good. Philip Crawford said, what's up, Philip? I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. He said, I'm late, but how many wins and losses do you see? I know it's a little early, but yeah, and I just finished addressing that. And Philip, I promise, like I said, I'll probably play the game like everybody else later on when the schedule comes out, as much as it's cringeworthy for me to do, because every year we do it, like Dexter, I think that was Dexter talking about the 5th easiest schedule. And you just say to yourself, it never turns out that way. So I'm just a game to game. I'm going to be a game to game person, man. And but I will eventually tell. Right now, it's just kind of hard till I see what the quarterback situation is going to be. How healthy is Michael Penix? If he's healthy, even if a healthy Michael Penix, can he beat out Tua? My personal feeling is yes. I think the organization is hoping that Penix wins the job for obvious reasons, because you still have him under contract for the next couple of years. You don't have to. If Penix wins the job, it would be awesome for the Atlanta Falcons because you still have him under control for the next 2 years. And if you got the 5th-year extension. But if he doesn't beat Tua, then we got some problems. So hit me up when we get a little bit closer, brother, when we kind of find out what that quarterback situation. Classmate alert, man. What's going on? My brother Julius Jackson is in the house. What's going on, my friend? He said, don't forget Ted Turner's impact on the city as well. Yeah, Ted did a lot for Atlanta. CNN Center. He absolutely did. No doubt in my mind, some of the crazy things he was doing to promote the team at that time. I remember, and I'm sure you remember too, Julius, they used to give out, and I don't know if they did, I'm sure they did it for all of the high schools in the area. They used to have the little straight A program. And that was like in the late 70s or early 80s. And if you had good grades, they would give you free tickets. You get a couple of free tickets to the games. Now, this is also, let me remind folks, this is also back when Fulton County Stadium, a big crowd was like 10,000. Anybody who was back then, the Chris Chambliss days, the Claudell Washington days, prior to them winning the division with Joe Torre, yeah, it was futile just to try to win in Atlanta, but they used to give those tickets away like crazy. Got the first super chat in the house. That's my brother Willie Dot in here. What is going on, my brother? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. He said, since we're talking wins and losses, can you give one main reason why the post-Super Bowl Quinn era failed, why the Arthur Smith era failed, and why the Morris era failed? Well, first of all, before I do all of that, I appreciate you sending the super chat to us. Thank you so much, my brother. Always appreciate it. Your support is always appreciated. So thank you so much. I got my super chat thing here going. Which one? Let's go with in honor of the release this week.
I know when you super chat, Uncle Steve will chat right back. I know when you super chat, Uncle Steve will talk right back. Ever since you left the city, you let Uncle Steve there with the Falcons.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. Always glad to see you in the house, brother. Appreciate you. Pam says, sad to hear about Ted Turner and Bobby Cox passing. Ted Turner, marketing genius he is, created TBS, which showcased the Braves, Hawks, wrestling. Cox, mad respect. Braves country is in mourning. Definitely are. And just the irony of he and Bobby Cox, which again, for those of us that long for winning times here in Atlanta, that was it. 95 was it. I mean, we could talk about the playoffs of the Hawks. They were consistent in making the playoffs, but this was a championship. And that doesn't happen if Ted Turner doesn't support, these guys in the front office, John Schuerholz of the world and the Bobby Coxes of the world. So you got to give them a lot of credit, man. And then, yeah, I said earlier about pro wrestling, man. Pro wrestling in Georgia, man, and I've had the opportunity to go down there and watch them tape. They used to tape Saturday mornings, early Saturday mornings, back when it was Georgia Championship Wrestling. Had a chance to see Abdullah the Butcher, Tony Atlas, Thunderbolt Patterson. Saturday morning, they would tape like 2.5, 3 hours worth of wrestling, and then you'd only see about an hour and a half sometimes on TV. But that was Ted Turner. Ted Turner loved that, man. Yeah, Pam said, yeah, Roddy White, I did see that. Roddy White was at the Falcons training camp today. I think they're going to do that a lot, Pam, because I think this fan base, and I'm going to go back to Willie Dot's question in a second, because this fan base needs something to feel good about with this organization. So you're going to bring old faces back in to kind of get people into the groove of things. So good ploy, but it's got to work. Yeah, tricks and bringing back relics from the past is cool, but it's got to work. Another super chat before I get back to Willie Dots. My brother Cowboy in the house. Atlanta Falcons Pandemic. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on his YouTube channel, man. I was listening to him yesterday. Hold it down, man. That brother has some knowledge and good info and as I always tell people, easy to dissect, easy to listen to and get into. Real Falcon fan now and then. And I always love listening to the folks talk about the history of what was then, this now. My brother Pandemic said, what's going on, my brother Uncle Steve? Oh, yeah, Cowboys in the house now. Bring on the 2026 Atlanta Falcons schedule. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
I sound like Cowboys in the house. Brother, appreciate you joining us here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. I got to give you something up the beat. Let's see.
Here we take our time, what's the rush? You with Uncle Steve, that's my uncle. Here we take our time, what's the rush? You with Uncle Steve, that's my uncle. Uncle Steve, that's
my brother Pandemic in the house, man. Y'all make sure y'all support him on his channel. Let me go back real quick to Willie Dot's question. Okay, the main reason why the post-Super Bowl Quinn era failed. Okay, I'll give you a reason for each one. The Super Bowl, the Quinn era failed. We spent money in the wrong places. The Quinn era went down, and I don't even think it was all Dan Quinn, but I do think once the message gets soured, once the losing starts, people kind of tune out. We're not listening to the brotherhood. We're not listening to, what was the thing? Embrace the suck. We're not listening to any of that anymore because your message is old. So from that standpoint, that's, to me, that was the era where Dimitrov spent way too much money on Freeman, way too much money on Matt. Yes, I love Matt Ryan, but I don't think you had to make him the highest paid quarterback in the league. I get why he did. Economics said you should do that. He was an MVP the year before. He signed that contract, I think, after the 17th season. So I understand why he did it. I just wish he wouldn't have. The dealings with Julio Jones, the off again, on again stuff, I just think that was Quinn. Arthur Smith, I just don't think was ready. I think Arthur Smith, if he gets a second chance, unlike the person we're going to talk about afterwards, I think Arthur Smith might get it right the next time. I actually like Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith was okay. At least I felt like there was an adult in a room with Arthur Smith. I just think he just didn't know what to do. If I'm just being fair, he's young at the game. He was a good OC. Had the weapons in Tennessee to do what he needed to do. I just don't think he was ready. And then Raheem Morris, I like Raheem as a person. Let me set that aside. Let me set that aside from the football part, because I do like Raheem Morris as a person. I think some people are probably meant to be assistants more than they're meant to be head coaches. It's obvious Raheem has the ear of a lot of players in the league. A lot of the players like him. That likability factor was cool. But I do think sometimes you kind of just need, I'm not even suggesting he wasn't serious, but I just think you need that person. It's just a little bit more X's and O's, not just, I'm going to be the head coach. Okay, first time offense coordinator, you're going to run the show. First time defense coordinator in the NFL, you're going to run the show. You can't do that on an NFL team and your head coach is not really that much of an X and O guy too. I know he's run some defenses, but I'm saying if you're going to be the head coach of the team and you're going to hand the reins over to two rookie assistant coaches, I just think you got to have somebody that's just a really good leader. I know I was really surprised that Dan Campbell turned out to be the coach he was. There was no doubt that he was a player's guy. The players loved him. But I was afraid he was going to run into the same situation that Raheem did the last couple of years. But when he had, Glenn and had Ben Johnson, it was a lot easier for you to do your job because those dudes knew what they were doing. So I think that's to answer that question. I think that's it. I hope that answered it, Willie. Monte Carlo says that's why I keep saying Atlanta versus everybody, because even our own fan base going against us like they are op. Yeah, I think there comes a time, Monte Carlo, where I don't know what else to make people think. I'm gonna be a fan throughout. I'm 100 run through the wall for my Falcons. Still doesn't mean I don't get frustrated. Still doesn't mean I can't critique things that I think are off. So I don't think it's the fan base going against us. I think after 8 straight seasons of non-winning football, come on, man. Even the best folks break. So I don't know, man. That's my thought. ATL 94, what's going on? What it do? How you feeling, man? What is going on with you? Thank you for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge again. As y'all coming in, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitter, please hit the like button. We appreciate y'all having us in here. What the topics are today, we talking about which away games which you all like to go to. I put the away games up there. Side of our division opponents, we travel to Minnesota, Cleveland, Green Bay, Washington, and the Steelers. I've already said Steelers to me is probably inching out number one. And remember, one of the home games is actually going to be the Madrid game. A lot of people tend to believe that could be either the Bengals or Kansas City. I don't know. We'll see. But which away game is intriguing to you? That Pittsburgh game, very intriguing as far as I'm concerned, to see if we can go there. Pamela says, friendliest fan bases in Minnesota. They were awfully nice to me. And I was like down in the trenches with them. Very, 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 very nice. Maggie T is in the house. What's going on, Maggie? Maggie is doing her thing over there, the AFN. And I think she got the little Georgia Sports Nation going on as well. So congratulations on that new endeavor, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing, ma'am. Keep doing your thing. Y'all make sure y'all check her out doing her thing on AFN. Lady Birds, I try to tune in as much as I can on Tuesdays. They do their thing at Tuesdays, I think 8 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Remind me if I'm wrong. But I know it's Tuesday evenings, but I always try to see if I can sneak in and catch them. Always entertaining with her and her guest of ladies on the panel doing their thing. Make sure y'all check them out. Kelvin says, Art and Raw were too stuck in their ways for real change. And again, the Arthur Smith thing, I think he did that because he just didn't know better. Raheem, I'm just not thinking and again, you got to separate the personal. I like him as a person. I just think everybody isn't meant to be a head coach. Just because they can smile, just because they can run a press conference, everybody isn't a great coach. Head coach. Alan might say, Unc, I put a statement out on Facebook. Oh, man, I missed that. Is that about the great surprise gift I received from Fanatics, and asks the person who sent it to get in contact with me with nobody because there was no name. I thought I put my name on there. Thank you so much, for the great birthday gift. I really appreciate you, and thanks so much for your blessings. I'm still in shock about the gift. Wow, it means so much to me. Thank you. Love you, brother. That is awesome, y'all. I appreciate. Let me tell y'all something. Mike has been listening to me on Facebook for a long time, and back when one or two people, you go on your stream and you just see one or two people, I would just be talking and it'd be one person doing all the commenting. So Mike is always going to have a special place with me. So that was an easy gift of love to my Falcons, brother, man. And as I said before, brother, next time you in town and you got the time, just, let me know and we'll make it happen. Get you down to that Mercedes-Benz and see what we can do for you, man. I'm glad you got a chance to enjoy that. Pam says, I remember my very first Braves game. It was at Fulton County Stadium. I was 18 years old. It was Braves versus Dodger, Fernando Valenzuela. Yes. Rookie season. We lost that game. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Pam, I think he actually won Rookie of the Year and MVP that same year. I could be wrong, but I think he did. But Fernando was a bad boy. That was a bad boy at doing this thing on the pitching mound with the Dodgers. And that was a really, really good team. My brother Joe is in the house. I was just talking about you, Joe, when we went up. I was trying to tell people about how cold it was when you and I went up to that New York Jets game a few years ago when it just rained and rained and rained on top of us. And I was trying to tell them how cold the rain was. It was like one step from being ice, but it just stayed just warm enough not to be ice. But that was just really a crazy time. He said we lost the offense coordinator. I'm trying to think which team. Tell me what you're talking about in text, and I apologize. Okay. He says we lost the offense coordinator during the quit. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan. That's absolutely right too. But in fairness, Joe, the next year, we had Steve Sarkisian, and yes, the offense sputtered, but we still made it one step from the NFC Championship game. So from a Quinn standpoint, he still kept it together in order for us to at least get to that next step as far as making it back-to-back to the playoffs. So I don't want to 100%. Yes, Kyle made a big difference, but I think Quinn still did a decent job up to that. Dwayne said, what's up, Uncle Steve? What's up, Dwayne? Said, I need a huge favor from Falcons Nation. One of my best friends is fighting for a life. He is in ICU. Oh, my God. I need everyone to pray for him. He is one of the biggest Falcon fans I know. Thank you, everybody in advance. Lord, we just look to you at this moment, Lord, and we know you know all the answers, and you know what your plan is. Lord, we just ask you to breathe life into this young man, and hopefully by your stripes, by your favor, you'll be able to do whatever you need to do in his life so that he can live a very prosperous life going forward. Whatever it is in your name. We thank you. Oh, man. We are sorry to hear that, brother. Hopefully he will, again, not our call. We know whose calls it is. So hopefully he will pull through for you, my friend. Wishing for the best in that. Pam says Raheem's mistakes was hiring rookie coordinators. 100% agree with that. 100%. Absolutely. Pandemic says Raheem also did himself a disservice by not hiring a supportive cast that could truly help him. Cowboy, I again, y'all are echoing exactly what you said. You can't, and then here's the crazy thing, right, y'all? This is your second chance. A lot of coaches don't get second chances. So your second chance, and you said, for me to do better than the first time, I'm going to bring two young dudes in here. And not to say that, well, I don't know. Maybe I am saying things were looking good when we were 6-3, but I just bad decisions, personnel decisions, if you ask me. Absolutely. Yuri's in the house, man. What is going on, brother? How you doing, man? I hope you enjoyed yourself coming back from Florida, my friend, watching your exploits on there. He said, I can't wait for the schedule this week. I'll be at the division road games and looking at Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, and Madrid. You know, that Madrid thing, again, I don't want to be all whatever, but it just kind of depends on what's going on with this world climate, man. You know, a lot of folks not too crazy about us Americans these days, and I just want to make sure we, you know, just make sure everybody's being safe, quite honestly. But the Madrid thing, let me see what the temperatures in the world is by then. That's definitely something to think about, but we'll see, put it this way. King Richie in the house, man. What is going on, my brother? He said, what's good, family? Our away games sucked this year. That year we had the Vegas schedule. That was my favorite away game that year. And I went to Vegas that year, Richie. I don't know if you ended up going, brother. I wish I would have seen you if you were there. But yeah, man. So I hear you. I think it's, you know, it's kind of vintage, though, if you think about it, Richie. I mean, you know, that's not a bad Minnesota. I'm telling you, Minnesota is a very good place to go to a game. Green Bay, you know, the history from Green Bay, the history of Cleveland, not from a post Super Bowl era. Going to D.C. to see what Jaden Daniels is going to be up to in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing sexy about it, but those are some historical places that I think I would not mind, especially Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh somewhere I definitely. Maggie T did verify 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. I thought I was correct, but I'm glad she verified that 100%. Thank you, Maggie, for doing that. I appreciate you. Got a sister alert in the house. What's going on, sis? She said, did I read Blank made a statement interview about rebuilding for 26-27? Can you summarize? Oh, as far as Drake, every new album out lately, I have played 1 to 2 times, then go back to listening to Ray. Yeah, Ray, who is real good. She's on the verge of being that next pop person. Absolutely. I didn't see anything about rebuilding. I'm pretty sure that's not the language they would be using. I hope not. That's almost like a cuss word down here for some of them fans, because trust me, they just had the tickets. Those season tickets are no joke. And I think the last thing you want to tell anybody in this organization is we rebuilding. So I don't think that's the case. As far as Drake is concerned, that was one of the questions for everybody in the chat. As far as Drake is coming out with Iceman, is anybody excited about that? Are you all going to be trying to go out there and get it, or download it, or do what you need to do? I think it'll be interesting to see what the response will be publicly. I think Drake is still one of the best rappers in the game. He had a definitely rough years in 24 and 25. He was getting bodied by everybody. But I still got faith he's going to come back and do some good things. Iron Mike is in the house. What's up, man? He said, man, I heard tell that boy Penix out there slinging peel at training camp, that there was actually a picture that they showed. Now, again, I don't want everybody to get totally fired up because you see a picture, but he knows what's up. He knows what's coming up. He is really fighting for his job. And when somebody tells you you're fighting for your job, whether you feel a little twinge in your thigh or in your calves or not, he know he's got to go to work and he got to get out there and start throwing. Because let's face it, Mike is probably not going to get a lot of physical work in when training camp starts. He might get a couple of snaps, but I doubt if you see him in a lot of game days. So you might see him in some scrimmages because they can control the stuff in scrimmages. But I doubt if you see him out on the field. Tua was brought in here to compete, yes, but in the Falcons' eyes, I am sure they are hoping and praying that Mike wins this job. Absolutely. Mike says he's sending out prayers to Jeff. Absolutely, Jeff. Absolutely. Yuri said, I was at that 2023 game in New York, too. Yeah, man. Yeah, Yuri. It was cold, bruh. And then I said, Joe will tell you, they had a guy who was, they had one of the guys out there. What was our guy's name? What was he supposed to be? The funny guy for the Falcons? His brother worked security for the Jets. Who the guy I'm thinking about, y'all? Wide receiver. Always be funny on the films and all of that. The little, but his brother was working security. If Joe's still in the chat, he can back me. His brother was working security, and he gave us some ponchos, but that didn't help us a lot. Oh, man. Mike said, thanks again. You put a big smile on your face, and I will take you up on that game if I ever get out. Absolutely, my brother. We are here for you, man. A lot of prayers going out for my man. Absolutely. Scott Glover, appreciate you. Sis in the house. J-Bo Grant, appreciate you. Absolutely. Pamela says Quinn's mistake was to allow Shanahan took everyone coach from the offensive with him, the 49ers. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. 100%. And Pam also wished prayer for healing, love, and strength. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. God's plan, y'all. God's plan. As we have to know that's what it is. Kelvin said, and one step away from the NFC Championship is closer than the Cowboys have gotten in 30 years. But this is yeah. And you know, you have to listen to all the noise, which is why I can't stand watching, you know, the exploits of the Stephen A. Smiths, and they keep Dallas in the news like Dallas just won a Super Bowl or went to a Super Bowl or won an NFC Championship game in the last 30 years, which they haven't. It is frustrating, Kelvin. It really is. It really is. He said, just don't wear no red hat and you'll be good. Man, look, anywhere I go, I went to Philly, and I say it again, with my chest out. I went to Philly right in the middle of the lower bowl. They told me the upper bowl is a little bit more rough. But I went in the lower bowl where the Falcons fans weren't that plentiful. We were there. And I was in the midst, and I was rooting, and I didn't get hurt. No, not at all. But I'm going to go. If I go, I'm still wearing my stuff, man. I'm not hiding for anybody. Georgia, Texas boy in our house. What's going on? He said, what's up, Uncle Steve and Falcons family? The new era is here. Rise up, Dirty Birds. That's my brother. He always putting it down, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. He's doing his thing podcast-wise, too, man. Y'all make sure y'all give him some love out there. Yuri says, we play in Minnesota every single year now. And it's so weird how that works out because last year, the formula put us there because we were in we ended up in third place, and Minnesota was in third place last year. So that's how we ended up playing them last year. But this year we had to play the NFC North, period. So, yeah. He also says we might do DC again. I go every year when the Falcons and Hawks go there. Okay, that sounds good. Sounds like a winner. Kelvin says, I don't care about location. I want the 49ers. Owe them a huge receipt. They had no one who could cover Pitts open all night. Yeah. I'm just trying to tell you, man. That's that game frustrates me because y'all remember one game would have gotten us that home game in the Bend. So when you think about the Frisco game, when you think about the Jets game, when you think about either Carolina game, that's the frustration is large. My brother, Big Low Country Sports is in the house. What is going on, my brother? Y'all make sure y'all check out Big Low. You already do on Big Low Country Sports. He is the man. That's my partner right there. He's at Uncle Steve. Rehearsal was at 8 o'clock. Wasn't the World Bowl. Let me tell you something. I said this, say it again. Like Michael Jackson had to tell the Jackson, I'm not with y'all anymore. I'm going solo. We can have reunions, but until I see my paper, I can't do nothing with you. I need the paper. We got to get together and do something like that this year, man. Y'all make sure y'all check out my brother doing this thing. He and I were talking about games and stuff like that earlier this year. Again, just being honest, the Spain thing is great, but just got to see what's going on with the world, man. But that Pittsburgh game is intriguing. Definitely intriguing. Kelvin says the preseason will tell it all, and it will. Talk about the quarterback controversy. Absolutely. Shoot. Frank Darby, man. Thank you, Lo. Frank Darby. Frank Giggling Darby. So I appreciate that, man. And Joyous Hopeful, thank you so much. Thank you. Darby. That's who it was. So true story, not even joking, not making fun of whatever. He was the guy. So when we went to New York, we got there kind of early. I got us some nice seats, and it was nice little right behind the bench. And so when we got there, it was pouring down rain. And we didn't have a raincoat because foolishly, I probably didn't look at the weather report. And dude came up like, oh, y'all from Atlanta? Yeah, man. Shoot, man, my brother plays for the Falcons. Oh, dude, who's your brother? He's like, Frank Darby. I was like, Frank Darby? I said, is he playing? I don't know. And so he wasn't activated for that game, but he was there. So he ended up coming out there. But I thank his brother for getting us some ponchos that day. So shout out to Frank Darby's brother for keeping me and Joe clean that night. Absolute true story. King Richie said, no, I didn't. I missed it. That's why I want it back. Oh, man, you are crazy, bro. Ms. Pam said, I took my friend Alicia, who is a Philly fan, on that Monday night game. Cousin won. Fun fact, they have a jail underneath the stadium in Philly. I heard about that. I didn't go over to that side, but Pam, if you remember, if you would share how great that feeling was as a Falcons fan that day to get out of that stadium with the, chest pumped out because we won. That was just, what a feeling. What a feeling. Saquon dropping that third down swing pass. And then, yes, Kirk Cousins marching us down the field in about 4 plays and tied the game. That was a very good feeling. And I remember walking where Philly is, which they have the perfect setup. Give Philly a lot of credit. They have is it the football stadium? No, the football stadium is second, right? But it's the baseball, football, basketball, all in a row. And it might be the football that was first. You got all of those in a row in there. And to walk down the street and hear those fans cussing their own folks out. They were about to fire Sirianni. All the folks that night, they wanted Sirianni out of there. But hey, we ended up to win, so it's all good. King says, I think the NFC South is going to shock some teams this year. I don't know. I don't even know if it's going to be a shock. Carolina is on the come up, folks. I don't think they're 14-3, 13-4, but I think they're on the come up. Their parts. I'm still questioning Bryce Young's consistency. Yes, he's great against the Falcons, but I mean, he comes sometimes and goes the other times. I'm not 100% sold on him as a quarterback, but as far as their team parts are concerned, and the way the defense is coming together, yeah, Carolina. I think Carolina is going to be who we're going to be fighting. Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is kind of plateaued. I'm not saying they're not going to be in the mix this year, but I don't know. Maybe the Baker legend has kind of flatlined a little bit. At least we're hoping so. He always flatlines against us. Pam says, I see no one will sell their preseason tickets. You are going to see all positions very competitive. There is not, aside of Bijan Robinson, and I guess Kyle Pitts because he's signed his 1-year tender, there's not another position on the field that isn't going to be competitive. And yes, I'm including some offensive line. As good as they have been, I see they bringing in a lot of folks, including today. I know they signed a couple of guys. Yes, lower end, but at least there's going to be some competition. She's right about that. Second wide receiver, we got to figure out who's going to be on the other side. We got a lot of good candidates. It was nice. But, between Dodson, between Zacchaeus, and now Zachariah getting drafted, let's see if we can build some competition. And the defense, as improved as we were last year, there's still room for more improvement. Still room for more. So, yeah, it's very competitive this year. Monte Carlo says, as long as we sweep the Saints and get them Panthers back. Yeah, got to get some get back on the Panthers. Got to. Yeah, that sweeping thing, that 30, when me and Lo went to that game, we had no idea that we would be walking out of there getting shut out 30-0. We were talking about Raheem might not make it back to Atlanta. Get embarrassed like that. Just came off a big time. I'm trying to think, was the Minnesota game last year Sunday night or Monday night? I think it was Sunday. Or was it Monday? Might have been Sunday night. Whatever it was. Big win against Minnesota, and then you come out there and lay an egg like that against Carolina. That was ridiculous. Pam said it was great feeling Alicia was my bodyguard. Yes. Yeah, the baseball stadium in the same area, Ford Field in Detroit, set up the same way with the baseball. And the basketball is actually on that same roll too. Football, baseball, and basketball. They're all on that same row. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to go to Detroit to look at that. I thought that was a genius. Whoever set that up, that's a genius. Now, unless you have days where Philly and the Eagles play at the same time, and hopefully they don't do that too much. But yeah, that is okay. That was a Sunday night, Dave. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. I know it was one of those nights for that Sunday night. We've been, and like I said, aside of that Frisco game, we haven't been too bad on our last couple of Sunday night exploits. I mean, and even at least the Frisco game, we showed up. So I do like the fact that we show up during these primetime games. So again, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about which games they would like to, even if you know you're not going. I mean, even if you know you're not, which game would you want to go to? And it can still be the division games too. But what game? Would you want to go to Minnesota, Cleveland, Green Bay, Washington, Pittsburgh. Even if you know you're not going, which game would you go to? Again, like I said, right now, if I had to ask, as long as, and let me put the caveat in there, Minnesota, Green Bay, Cleveland, all of those games are going to have to be before December because I'm not going to any of those games at all. So I can't do it. Too cold. Pam says my expectation is to win NFC South and playoff anytime possible. That's my hope. That's my hope. I really do. We cannot. The only thing we just can't do until we find out who is running the show at quarterback. And folks, you can't win without a quarterback. We got to. Got to have a quarterback to win in the NFL. And as promising as flashes that we saw with Mike last year, he's got to stay on the field. And that's nothing against the young man. I everything I saw in the flashes, yes, even when he struggled, he still looked like somebody that from a talent standpoint, I'd still take him over Tua. But he got to be young. Pam said Detroit Ford Field is nice. The fan base field, the top of the to the top of the standard. Yeah, Detroit is old school. They're always going to do that. Tony in the house, man. What's up, man? How you doing, brother? He says that's weather. That's weather. That's the weather we'll get. Yeah, yeah. That's why I say if it's any game after December, or really after November, they can kick rocks. Monte Carlo says, had we kicked the field goal on fourth or a better play with a DB reads Drake's route because he went in motion, we win in Frisco. True that. Cowboy says, Washington is one I want to see for some reason. We always play them tough and more than likely pull out a win. Yeah, we owe them a little get back too. We owe them a little get back because we should have won that game against them. Matt Town Dirty in the house, man. What is going on, my brother? Good to see you in the house. Thank you again for y'all for joining me on Uncle Steve's Lounge. This is the Monday Minutia. We try to do it every Monday to talk about these Falcons, talk about everything else y'all want to throw on here. He said, Georgia, Texas boy said Falcons versus Commander week 1. I see a couple of places saying that. Again, I don't want to give it too much credence until it officially happens, but I do understand. I also talked to one of my other folks who looking at stuff like that, and he said that he saw something that said Atlanta was playing Washington week 1. That would be great. Georgia, I texted first game of the season. Bears versus Seahawks Wednesday, September 5th. That's a good one. That's a good way to start the season. That's a good way. Kelvin says Cleveland. Georgia, Texas says Commanders. Those are games. Yuri said we finally beat Washington last year. Keep in mind, that was not Jaden. That was our buddy Mariota that we beat. And Mariota actually, that was probably the best game he played all year. and we remember we snuck by in that game, to be honest with you. Pam says Zach Robinson messed Penix up. This experiment quarterback and coaching should help him out. I'm glad you pointed that out, Pam, because I also feel like that stunted Mike. That stunted him. And I hope Stefanski is the smart guy that we think he is. I really hope he is because I do feel like he needs somebody that's going to teach him. He needs somebody. And I say teach him. He has the hold on one second. I'm sorry. I apologize. Had to get that out there. What Zach Robinson putting Mike with a rookie OC was probably the worst thing you could have done. Pam is absolutely on point about that. The absolute worst thing he could have done. So I'm hoping that the folks they have in there now with Stefanski can right that wrong. That was Raheem's downfall. Raheem hung his future on somebody who had never done the job before. He was a pass game coordinator. I'm sorry, folks, that doesn't count as far as an offensive coordinator. And some of the stuff, remember, even the 6-3 start, we sputtered against Philadelphia. We sputtered against who did we play first game? Kirk Cousins' year. Whoever it was we played in the first game. We sputtered. Cowboys says that stamps game week 1 would be nice out of the gate too. Yeah, it should. It would be. David says, let's not forget our wide receiver room was cheeks as well. We have had some rough going at wide receiver already with the 2 free agent signings. The 2 free agent signings, and I'm not trying to tell you Zacchaeus and Dotson are Roddy White and Julio Jones. I'm not trying to tell you that. But already we've had more talent. We have more talent in the wide receiver room this year than we've had since, what would y'all say, 17? Not 17. Probably since 18 when Ridley and Julio were together. Kelvin says, just hope our first game is on the road and a win. It'd be good to start on the road, man. Get all of that out and then come home and win. Cowboy says Alex Van Pelt is here, so Mike should level up if he stays healthy. That's a good thing. Alex Van Pelt looks like he's had some success as a coordinator. Absolutely. 100%. Georgia, Texas boy says, going off that week 1 slate, we'll be traveling to Washington. And it does sound like a lot of people into that. Oh, man, got a super chat in the house, man. Ty Walker, what is going on, man? They've been in recovery and on my therapist's couch after Rob Morris. But I've been watching after your live shows, my guy. Best wishes for Orlando, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. That's really cool, man. Thank you. And again, for everybody who sent super chat today, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know which one I got in here. Let me see. Do I have my lowdown in? Which one I got?
Oh, my love, another super chat from you, never to know. I just don't want to stop. Oh, my love.
Man, that was a rough. That sounded like Big Low coming in there with vocals, man. I got to give him 2 of them for that $20, man. That's awesome right there. That you got to get 2 of these.
No one is like Uncle Steve. I know for you, 'cause the kind of super chat like me, hey, whatever you want, it's all right with me.
I gotta see Babyface again. I had a chance to see him live, and Babyface is a bad boy, man. Y'all gotta check him out, man. Thank you so much, man. Ty, you are awesome. Again, thank you for your support. Thank all y'all for support. Thank you for coming in the chat, doing what we doing, man. This is awesome. Yuri says Raheem fumbled 2 easy 11-win seasons. I 100% agree with that. Because if you look at the margin, Yuri, of when we lost those games and how much we lost those games, I think a real coach would be able to, close the deal. You mean to tell me a real coach, you were up 14 points, was it 14 points or 10 points against the Jets? Against arguably the most horrific team in the league, and you couldn't hold a lead and let them come back and beat you. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Pam says Alex Van Pelt will help Penix and Tua. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Cowboys say, yeah, I agree. Although 6-3 isn't bad, it's how we won that made those wins suspect. 100%. There was a lot of struggles. Absolutely. The quarterback coach, as far as Alex Van Pelt is concerned, yeah. And people got to remember, when you're talking about, yes, Kirk Cousins was there as the veteran, but if you invested in that first round pick, man, you got to have somebody there that's going to teach the young man. Remember, Kirk probably didn't want to teach you nothing. Even though Kirk got paid, man, Kirk didn't get paid to be a mentor. Kirk got paid to come out there and give us a result, which he failed for the most part. Don't tell me nothing about the 5-game winning streak this past year, because I saw him almost throw the game away against New Orleans on the last game of the year. Make sure you, and again, y'all been awesome. Keep the comments coming. We still rolling. Make sure y'all hit the like button for me, especially on YouTube. Get me out there in the algorithm, doing our thing. We're just trying to get some more content into the air before we get into the season. I appreciate y'all doing that. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you hit the like button, share the video, man. Tell your friends what we do here at Uncle Steve's Lounge. I really appreciate everybody joining us on here. Cowboy says, sorry, Unc, I meant to say that Tampa Bay game week 1 would be nice out the gate. And you know what? We did Tampa here last year. So maybe return the favor, but I think they're going to probably say Tampa Bay for Thursday night. I think that's just become the Thursday night game for most of the time. TJ Martin said, cutting up with the cuts, man. Look, that's what we do at Uncle Steve. Y'all do super chats. We do. Y'all kind enough and to give super chats. I'm going to be kind enough to pretend like I can sing. Because I got a lot of sound bites in here. So we got plenty of stuff. Scott Glover said Babyface will be at the amphitheater in Macon this Saturday. Oh my goodness. And you know what? And I got something to do Saturday. I wish. Is he coming by himself, Scott? Let me know if he's coming by himself or not. That could still be interesting. Might have to miss that. Kelvin says in that Commanders game, call a timeout again. So Kelvin, put that on top of other stuff. It's just a myriad of mistakes that Raheem. That's why I'm not telling you Arthur Smith was a better head coach than Raheem, but he had at least an excuse that I've never done this before. What was the first thing when Raheem came in? Oh, Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. He's been a head coach before and whatever. And again, I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I wasn't drinking the cherry Kool-Aid with everybody. But at the same time, when it came down to the difference between making right decisions, he just didn't do it. I don't know. David says Raheem was also too loyal. The emotional currency Koo had accrued with him cost us many a game. When he sat out there and said, he told America that he was emotionally invested in Koo, that let me know that, yeah, bro, you can't, release that. You got to release that, bro. You can't be thinking like that. That's not cool. You got to think about the team. You can't be thinking about yourself. Cowboy said Kurt didn't help at all. Remember, Penix said he didn't have any help from anyone, teammates included. Now again, if you're in Penix's situation, and let's keep it a buck, Penix probably wasn't rushing to come to Atlanta. Penix probably wanted to go to a situation where he didn't have to see. I mean, he knew at the beginning of the season he was going to be sitting behind Kirk Cousins. Nobody knew what was going to happen and Kirk Cousins went on a 4-game losing streak and all of a sudden couldn't throw anymore. Nobody knew that. But from Michael's standpoint, he was probably like, dang. You know that same look, I don't know if y'all saw the lottery yesterday. The Hawks didn't move up. But y'all saw the lottery when Washington Wizards won the lottery and you saw AJ Desponza, the look on his face when he saw the Wizards get that first pick, that look was like, gotta be kidding me. I'm going to the Wizards. That was kind of the look that Michael Penix had. Michael Penix is like, I didn't want to come to the Falcons. I want to go somewhere that there's no controversy. My brother Berto is in the house, man. That is my guy. Dude, I'm trying to tell y'all make sure y'all check him out on Wednesdays. Him and Bro Talk do their thing. When you talk about informative, when you're talking about breaking down football, he's kind of my dude. Him and Lowe, when I get my feel, they do their things. So I really appreciate the stuff that they put into us too, man. But y'all make sure y'all check Berto out on Wednesday. Smash the like, share, and subscribe button for he is absolutely correct. And I appreciate that. He said, the missing member of the Temptations. Let me tell you something. Temptations need me. No, I'm just like, oh, man. Another super chat in the house. My brother, Big Brewski, in the house. What is going on, man? Had a chance to watch a game with Big Brewski at the crib, man. That dude is too cool. Good evening, up. I just want to see consistency with this team. Too many ups and downs this past season, especially with that Carolina 0-30 game. Brother, don't remind me. We were out there in it. Trust me. And he's absolutely right, man. Brewski, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for always supporting the channel, man. Let me give him some of this. This is a song Berto recorded. Berto was singing lead on this right here.
Well, my heart start beating triple.
That's Berto.
With thoughts of super chats on my mind.
Don't let him fool you.
I don't figure out just who to believe, but you hear it all. We'll see. With Uncle Steve, you get weak and you know why.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. Brewski, I appreciate you, man. Consistency, brother. And I'm talking about consistency, not losing, Brewski. Consistency by winning. Winning. That's what we need. We need to win and be consistent. Another super chat to have. Man, Miss Pam, you are so awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel just like I support you guys when you doing the Ladybirds. Always appreciate that. Let me see what I can give. Hear her. Let me see. We'll go here. What we got?
Gonna be here for long. You know, I read a super chat. Girl, you got me twisted over there. Uncle Steve will read right now, baby.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all again chiming in with us on the Monday Minutia. Just awesome. Good conversation. Good talk about these Falcons as far as the schedule is concerned. Just appreciate everybody doing their thing out here for these Falcons, man. We got to support them. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate that. Yuri says, I was sweating it out in Carolina with you too. Yeah, man. Oh, and it was hot. It was hot in that stadium. Bank of America stadium, it was hot. And me and Lowe probably lost 50 pounds between us that day and gained it right back. Then we stopped at McDonald's. I'm telling on us. We did. Oh, man. But we had a ball, though. We had a ball. Big Brewski says, Berto singing, we need to tour it. I'm trying to say, man, I mean, we tried to get the stuff together, man. It's you know, Berto, another one, he want to get paid too, man. All of us can't get paid. All of us can't get paid. We gotta, come on now. Miss Pam is absolutely right. Tune in to all Atlanta Falcons content creator. Let me tell you something, y'all. The one thing that I pride myself, and I've been doing this really on Facebook. I've been doing this since probably right around the Super Bowl. I only got into YouTube probably in right around the pandemic time. But the great thing I like, and especially about the new folks that are coming, some of the older guys, not older in age, but folks who've been doing it for a while. You know, Smitty done been knocking it out all this time, man. Give him a lot of credit for what he's doing. Maggie been doing her thing. I was talking about, Smitty and Sports Machine, him and Tip doing their thing over there, man. And I love the different opinions. I love the different viewpoints. We all have different viewpoints. Just because, one or two of us say the same thing doesn't mean that's the gospel. I like that there are different takes and different ways of doing these shows. And I hope, all I hope is when you all watch me is something different. I tell you what, I'm not saying it just because she's on the, she just supported our channel as well, but I love what the Lady Birds do. I think that's different. That's something different. It's a different perspective. And hopefully they get a lot of love out there. Love the cats, the Water Boys, man. Water Boys, Trey and Be Rich doing their thing. And guess what, y'all? The more they shine, the more they get on platforms that are bigger, the more people will look around and say, man, what these content creators doing in Atlanta? They about that. So I encourage the interaction. I love seeing the different ways. Now, don't get me wrong. All of us don't do it the same, which is a big difference. But at the same time, I just hope you're entertained in what we do here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I really appreciate what you guys bring to the game up here. And thank you again. She's absolutely right. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Cowboys say Uncle Steve in the studio laying it down tonight. All that he missing on the chair. I'm gonna be in here like I will be in here like the ladies' man. Oh, it's a lady. Man, I like to have fun doing my thing in here. Listen, I do absolutely appreciate everyone joining us tonight. I only had planned on being in here an hour, but with the support you all gave in the chat, keep going. For those who are coming in the chat now, the 3 questions we were asking: where you all want to go to the first game of the year. If you're going to a away game, which game would you want to go to? Minnesota, the division folks, Minnesota, Green Bay, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Washington. With the schedule coming out Thursday, that's why we're talking about that. We also asked, and I didn't hear a lot of response about it, but that's fine because we talked a lot of football today. How does everybody feel about the Drake? New Drake coming out Friday. How does everybody feel about that? Is it a comeback? Can you call it a comeback? Or do we think people have kind of checked out on Ovi and is his day pretty much done as far as being a relevant rapper these days? I think he's going to do fine this week, but it is what it is. But again, make sure if you're watching after the broadcast, put the comments in there. I usually check the comments out every day. So if it's a new question, a new response, a new comment, I'll answer for you. We are Uncle Steve's Lounge. I am Uncle Steve. We appreciate you joining us here on the Minutia. Thank you for everybody who has celebrated what's coming up this Falcon season. I look forward to the schedule release. Not sure if I'm going to come on any certain night or doing a collab with somebody. Not sure yet, but I'm sure I will be out there and I'll be watching everybody else. Everyone have a blessed Monday. Again, those mothers yesterday, happy belated Mother's Day. Hope everybody enjoyed their time. I am Uncle Steve. This is Uncle Steve's Lounge, and you've been watching the Monday Minutia here on Uncle Steve's Lounge.